New tonight, viral researchers believe someone in Central Ohio has been infected with COVID-19 for at least 2 years.
As you can imagine, they want to find that person.
NBC4 Investigates Jamie Ostroff spoke with the doctor leading the research. So how did he manage to identify this case?
It's very complicated and takes a lot of work. And thankfully, this is one of those stories where I am not the one doing the investigating.
Right.
And here is why. Dr. Mark Johnson, one of the nation's leading COVID wastewater researchers, was able to track what he calls cryptic COVID strains through the sewage systems. And while he says those strains are no threat to public health, he believes some of them, like the one here in Central Ohio, might actually hold the key to very important research on the virus.
University of Missouri molecular virologist Mark Johnson spent much of his career studying HIV. That all changed a few years ago.
So we've done all of the wastewater sampling for the state of Missouri since early 2020.
Wastewater sampling played a major part in tracking COVID-19 outbreaks, but Johnson discovered a gap in that data.
There was no protocol established at that point for sequencing SARS-CoV-2 from wastewater, so I developed my own.
As the virus evolved into different variants like Delta and Omicron, sequencing its genetic material helped identify which strains were more prevalent in different areas. That's when Johnson discovered what he calls cryptic strains.
They have certain patterns. There are certain mutations that they regularly accumulate that are not in any circulating lineages.
In other words, a unique version of the virus that would linger in one wastewater system for a period of time and suddenly disappear. At first, Johnson couldn't understand why these mutated sequences weren't spreading, even in densely populated areas like New York City.
I thought it was coming from the rats. Simply because I couldn't think of anything else that had enough mass in the sewer shed that wouldn't move around. And we tested more rat feces than I care to remember.
The tests were negative. As sequencing became more common across the U.S., Johnson started looking at publicly available data. A cryptic in Wisconsin led to Johnson's next discovery. These sequences might be linked to just one person.
Would just keep going, checking all of the pieces of the web, figuring out, following it up the line until we got to a single manhole.
Wow.
And that manhole actually only got waste from one place.
Which is how Johnson arrived at the Central Ohio case this spring, when he found a cryptic in Columbus and in Washington Courthouse with lineage that predates the Delta variant, the strain most prevalent in the summer of 2021. According to Johnson, that means someone has been carrying COVID for more than 2 years. Johnson went as far as to predict that this person lives in Columbus and commutes to Washington Courthouse for work.
I just know that they regularly shed into both sewer sheds, often on the same day.
Johnson hopes that by sharing this story, that person will come forward to help him answer a lot of important questions.
How many cases are there like this? What are their symptoms? Is this related to long COVID, or there are a lot of people who got COVID and never really got over it, and we don't know why? Probably most of them are not chronic infections, but some of them might be, which would actually be good because that's theoretically treatable, and they can actually get better.
Wow.
So again, Johnson really wants to stress here, this is not a threat to public health. In fact, the virus is inactive by the time it passes through your gastrointestinal system. And again, the Ohio Department of Health, I did reach out to them. They are not involved in Johnson's research, and that is specifically because they agree it is not a threat here to public health.
So basically, doing this story on television is probably their best method to find the person who fits in this very specific segment, right? Person who lives in Columbus, commutes to Washington Courthouse. How many people could that be,
Very
right?
specific here.
Yeah.
And he said because he found the virus more frequently in Columbus than he did in Washington Courthouse, indicating that maybe this person lives here and commutes to Washington Courthouse.
Wow.
But yes, we are just the next step in this chain of virus research. And I am going to go ahead and post his email address online. So if you do commute to Washington Courthouse to work every day from Ohio's capital city, you can reach out to this guy.
Fascinating.
Incredible.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jamie.